What is up, ladies and gentlemen? So it's been like 5 or 6 days since I've been able to run. My foot was in a mess. Like, here's the picture. Basically I had 3 blisters across the outside, the middle and the inside of my foot, and they all swelled up. My foot swelled up. Couldn't put it in shoes properly. I couldn't run. I couldn't put any pressure on it. Then it went bruised, which was a bit weird. It seems to have gone now, but it brought me onto my train of thinking. Like, today's video, after a little time off again, which I promised wasn't going to happen, is about like old school shoes with old school foams to new school foams. So I did my blisters in the Structure Triax, which is an old school foam, and it's a harder Cushlon mix of like a denser inside seam to stop your foot rolling in. These are a neutral New Balance shoe, the 880 V9, and I'm running really well. I'm like just under 6 minute mile in, just relaxing, singing along, listening to music. But my brain has been just thinking about these new foams and all this new technology and stuff that we've got, and I realised that since I've been running in new foam shoes like super foams, I've got injured a lot more, and I've had a lot more lower limb, hip and back problems than when I used to just run in simple old school shoes like the Pegasus 37, which is like a Cushlon based just Nike shoe, which is just really simple basic foam, nothing really too crazy on the ingenuity side. Same with these 880s, like they're just a normal basic two-fuse foam. But have we become so reliant on these new super foams for that bouncy plush ride feel that it's slowing us down? Because my fastest run of the year, where I was randomly dropping sub 6 minute miles, was in the Structure Triax, a harder, more responsive, maybe it is more responsive because it doesn't kind of give in as much as the newer shoes. It doesn't have that sort of bounce and pop, but I was flowing nicely on it. So yeah, I'm going to talk about it more on the other side, because as you'll remember, this is my favourite downhill, and I bet you this hand has been in the shot in this corner the whole time. So I do apologise about that. Anyway, I'm going to carry on with this run. Auto pause is on, so that's good. So I'll see you on the other side in the woods, where we'll chat some more about foams. Alright, so we're in the beautiful woods. Just look at these woods, they're absolutely amazing. So let's talk about what I mean by that, and we'll discount the 4%, the next percent and the Vaporfly, because they're a crazy shoe. That shoe is on another planet. What I'm talking about is like your daily shoes, Ultra Boost, Float Rides, Fuel Cell, like these foam technologies that are super responsive, super soft, super lightweight. Like, maybe they're not good for you, and I don't know, like I'm not 100% sure, but whenever I put on old school running shoes, like my running feels differently. I feel a bit more of a pop, a bit more of a spring. Yes, my feet are sorer, right? That is a caveat, a huge caveat. My hay fever's playing up, so I do apologise. Like that's a huge caveat, because in like Ultra Boosts or Float Rides or Fuel Cells, you feel like a New Balance Fuel Cell, you feel flowy, poppy. But some of my runs have been awful in them, and I mean like horrific. Like I felt like I'm flying along, and it's been like a 7:30 mile, 8 minute mile in. And I've looked at myself and thought, what's going on? Then I put on an old school New Balance shoe that I had from way back in the day, and the run's been amazing. I've flown along, I popped along. I think it's because I like to feel the floor. I'm a different kind of runner. I like to feel the ground. I like to push off and float and bounce along. And sometimes them shoes are great, but it's really got me thinking, like the 80s, 90s and the 70s and stuff, these people were flying along in like Reebok Classics and Asics Tigers and stuff, and we're not that much faster now. I get the elite end we are, but like mid-range we're not. In better shoes, better technology, the Vaporfly, the Next Percent and the Alphafly are screwing the figures massively. Like, just because they give you so much more efficiency, and efficiency is key in running. I don't think they're cheat shoes. I don't agree that people call it like a cheap PB and all that stuff. What I do think though is they just increase your efficiency, and it is an amazing thing. Oh, look at all them blossoms just like floating along. Like, I don't know if you can see it, but that's amazing. And I am going to do a full week's training, professional style training. That's going to be the whole point of this week. A professional week's worth of training like a professional athlete for 1 week, see how we get on. I'm going to do it in old school shoes. I'm going to do it in these 890s, and I'm going to go back and see what other shoes I've got that are old school foams, old school technology. None of this super foam stuff. None of my runs will be in fresh foam, Vaporfly foam, Next Percent foam, whatever the foam is. It will all be new school stuff, old school stuff. And let's see how we get on. Anyway, I need to finish off my run because my arm is about to fall off from holding this camera up. I will see you all back at the house. Let's finish this run off. So, what do I mean? So these are the old school shoes that I own so far that I found. These are my 880s that I just ran in. These are my Structure Tracks that I ran in. These are my Hondos which I ran in, which don't have any real new school technology. It's just a thin piece of EVA with some cool sole. Then you've got your next generation Fresh Foam X for the super bounce. You've got Float Ride Energy. And I'm not really sure where these sit because this is Cushlon, but it does have like a nylon plate through it. So they could probably sit in this camp, but they're probably in that camp. So my goal is to spend a week in old school shoes, training like a full-time athlete in old school trainers only, and none of this new school foam, and see if it makes any difference. Today's run was approximately 10-15 seconds faster than I normally run in my new school shoes. In my float rides and stuff, I ran like 640 to 650 miling today, and normally if I'd have done the same run in say a pair of Reebok float rides or whatever, I would have been like 730. And maybe they just make you run easier, I don't know, but I'm going to do the experiment. That's today's vlog. What do you think? Are you all for the new school technologies, Ultra Boosts, Next Percent, Zoom foam, it's such a mouthful, Zoom X? What is your favorite super foam, if you have one? Is it Zoom X, Fuel Cell, Ultra Boost, or do you prefer old school running shoes? Just simple, normal foam, normal EVA, nothing special, just a nice, solid ground contact and a nice bit of flow. That is today's video. I will see you all tomorrow. Have a fantastic day, and then we'll start tomorrow's week with how to train like a professional athlete for a week. Old school stuff. I'll see you later.